I've always maintained in this channel that political parties must be very careful who they send to parliament, because parliament is not a place to play. In parliament, you pass serious budgets. In parliament, you discuss serious laws. You need to have confidence. You need to make sure that your debating skills are good, your reading skills are good, because you are representing your political party at the highest level. Weak people in parliament show us really the type of fabric and the type of quality that political parties have. And for me, sometimes I question some of these politicians who speak in parliament. I'm like, this one, how did they make it to the top list in their political party? And in this video, I want to discuss what these politicians are actually doing in parliament and hear their level of reasoning and judge it if it's good enough for us to have those type of people in parliament.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Blackheart, the Hustle Continuer. Made to inspire your goals and dreams. 100% good quality clothes are now available at affordable prices. T-shirts, hoodies, sweaters, bucket hats, and more. Place your orders now. 06847366908. Instagram Black7576. Facebook page Blackheart.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Eneng, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I'm going back to Parliament to just check the type of work that our politicians are doing. I've always maintained, like I said, that parliamentarians must be the top of the notch of political parties. You can't send a chance taker to parliament. You can't send someone who is clueless about the laws of the country, how departments work, how the government works. And you must send a seasonal politician, not somebody who's going to learn in parliament, like Gayton McKenzie did by sending a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old in parliament. In parliament, a 21-year-old, what are they going to do in parliament? But anyways, you know this thing of 50% women, 50% men. The next thing, you just put rubbish men in parliament, rubbish women in parliament who don't know how to sustain even a debate or read from a sheet. And guys, the ANC, sometimes the type of parliamentarians they have, it leaves less to desire, man. You're like, man, how did this person get into parliament? In the list of the ANC, because in the ANC there is a list. You know, a party list, a top 30 list, top 50 list. And some people, you ask yourself, how did this person get in here? One of those people, let's watch this and you tell me what you think.
When under quarterly implemented by the three spheres of government and the arms of the state will enhance the state's capacity, the state's capability to implement. Ensuring the public service are public servants who need to be continuously supported and trained to respond to different tasks. The national schools of government has played a major role in diversifying training opportunity and increasing the number of public servants undergoing training. This is a major achievement of the entity as it develops a culture of training within the public service. The National Schools of Government is also open for South Africans who are not yet part of the public service. The democratic against to protect workers. To protect workers' rights also apply to public servants who are protected and having their interest advanced by their labor representative in the bargaining council.
But now, I don't want anyone to get me wrong. We are not saying not being able to read English means you are stupid or illiterate. Does not mean that when you can't express yourself in English, it means that you are not wise, you are not educated. It does not necessarily mean all of those things. We are judging this parliament. I don't even know her name. Just comment the name on the comment section so we can check. Go and check the history. I'm not sure. But anyway, you find yourself when you have to prepare for something, you make time and you make sure that you are prepared. This is unpreparedness, and they are just incompetency that is being shown here. Prepare. You've got 2 minutes, 3 minutes to deliver your speech, your debate, your presentation. Make sure that 2 minutes you are practicing at home. You've been paid 1.5 million rand and you can't prepare for 3 minutes. You can't prepare for 3 minutes. This is the type of quality that some political parties are bringing to parliament. And it's not only the ANC, there's many others also. Once that list start jumping 12, 13, 14, there's other members of parliament from the DA, you will never hear them speak, ever. ANC also, you will never hear them speak. Huh? From the, what you call that party, the IFP, you'll never hear them speak. Because by us, there's nothing in here. Now, if you want quality, obviously you must go to, the best Pan-Africanist politician, according to me anyway, in our land, which is Uputi Andile Ncitama. For me, he's like the best Pan-Africanist politician in South Africa. Listen to how he speaks, man. Just listen.
House chairperson, that we must go to China and go to learn how a government acts to discipline capital. There's Jack Ma, the Oppenheimer of China, who thought he was bigger than the state, and the state dealt with him, disappeared him. Now here our state is controlled by white capital. That is why our president was given R1 billion to buy a conference of a political party so that he becomes a president on behalf of white capital. And that is why we are never going to address the issues that affect our nation, because we don't have a government that represents our people. We have a government that represents white capital, captured by white capital. Political parties in this particular parliament are being funded by white capital, are funded by Stellenbosch. They represent the interests of Stellenbosch in this house. And the president, of course, got the R1 billion. There's the R1 billion. No, this is the truth. The public protector brought a report that showed that the CR17, why don't you show us who gave the president that money and why would he give them that money to buy a conference of the ANC? So we have a problem. We are not going to meet the National Development Plan goals. The unemployment is going to remain high because white capital needs super exploitation of our people to make profits, and this government, by its action, is defending the interests of white capital. We are not going to end poverty. In 2030, our people are going to be as poor as they are. Minister, the light at the end of the tunnel is not something to be celebrated. It's an oncoming train. 2029, our people must judge this government on the basis of the promise it made, unprovoked, that it will end poverty, it will end unemployment and inequality. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Now you can hear when a politician is well informed. You can hear when a politician knows how to make example. You make example with China, that we should learn from China, and you know, from the Communist Party of China, and also how they dealt with capitalists and all of those things. Very good. Even though I would like to differ a little bit, because I don't like this thing of South Africa comparing itself to China or India. I don't like that, because the numbers don't match. South Africa is 62 million people, according to the faulty statistics South Africa that they gave us. 62 million people. You can't compare 62 million people with 1.4 billion people. I mean, it's unfair. It's an unfair comparison. You know, Lesotho can't compare themselves with South Africa. Nothing. Military-wise, anything-wise, Lesotho, yes, is doing a great job supplying us with water, helping us. Because African countries need to integrate and help each other with their problems. But I'm saying, numbers-wise, you can compare the national teams, science and technology, agricultural land. You know, this China is called 1.something billion people, 1.4 billion people. So China must be compared with Africa. Africa can beat China anytime. You understand what I'm saying? Moving on is to this 1 billion thing. It is true. Busisiwe Mkhwebane tried to bring awareness to the ANC conference that was bought, the CR7 campaign that was bought with 1 billion, and the bank statements that she saw. She has talked in many what you call podcasts on the things that she had there, and in a case when they were firing her from parliament, when they were impeaching her, she did say, these people are after me because I touched the nerve of the ANC, which is Cyril Ramaphosa. You see, so they sealed those documents of the CR7 campaign, so we will never know actually who funded Cyril Ramaphosa to buy the ANC. We don't know. We don't know. So anyway, that's what we are talking about there when we're talking about quality of a parliamentarian. The best politician in South Africa, according to me, not according to you, according to me, is Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. For me, if politician had to run single-handedly, one by one, individually, I would choose Mbuyiseni Ndlozi to be the president of this country. I love that man. I'm telling you, you tell me on the comment section, who would you select as an individual? Will it be Vuyo Nzungula? Will it be Julius Malema? Will it be Jacob Zuma? Who would you select as your presidential candidate if we had to select one person and not a political party? For me, it's Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. Let's listen to what he says.
Crime-ridden society in South Africa are two important things that the APP does not address, with its appropriation of about 113 billion for SEPs alone. One is the fact that your strategy is not actually committed to prevention of crime. You want to fight crime after it has happened. There is no well-articulated idea of how you're going to stop the murder rate, which is amongst the highest in the world. In the last financial year alone, about 27,500 people were killed, murdered. If you want to understand the dramatic effect of that, in Gaza, there is an ongoing genocide with military bombardment of buildings and people. In the same period, so to speak, since the war started, 38,000 people were casualties. 27,500 in South Africa under so-called peace conditions. In Gaza, where there is a war and genocide, 38,000. You have lost the war against crime. Of the top 30 police stations, if you look at them over the last 20 years, they repeat themselves. You know where murder is taking place. So it means you need a preventative strategy. All those police stations are known coming from only 4 provinces, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Eastern Cape, and the Western Cape. There is no strategy here to address that. Same as rape and gender-based violence. 42,000, over 42,000 rapes in the last financial year alone. The police stations are the same. The top police stations are well-known police stations. Sishiyo, Umlazi, Delft. You know where these activities are taking place. They are related to shebeens. They are related to places that are not safe in the streets, in the parks. Your deployment of the budget, your deployment of personnel should be preventative of these crimes. There is kidnapping on the rise. Even members of parliament in this chamber these days get kidnapped. gangs and drugs. All the drug lords or the drug dealers are known. Only the police claim ignorance. We know the houses in Orange Farm. We know the houses in Khayelitsha that are selling nyaupe. Only the police don't.
We don't need to talk about the quality of Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. You know what he brings. Now we're just analyzing what he's saying. True to what he's saying, the Ministry of Police knows exactly where the hotspots of our country are. They know. They know. In this province, rape is high. In that province, hijacking is high. In that province, assault cases are high. In that province, women abuse is high. You know, gender-based violence, all of those things. But the police is simply not proactive enough. They are always reactive to what is happening in terms of the crime of South Africa because they are lazy. And one of the reasons why they, and I repeat this all the time, I'm not sure if anyone is hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying the reason why the police force is not so effective is because the people who are police did not grow up wanting to be a police. You know, when you were still young, they used to ask you, when you grow up, what do you want to be? I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. Many, if not 80% of the police force right now is people that did not want to be a police force. The government has used the police force to relegate the unemployment rate in South Africa. So it was just an employment circus that was happening. So people who are unemployed, hey, where can I apply? Let me put my form in the army. Let me put my form in the police. Let me put my form here in ShopRite Checkers. And then the form of the police, they call them, hello, are you king? Yes, I'm king. Come for training. And then they go. Congratulations, you have been nominated to be part of the army of South Africa. Let's see you at this base. That's how people got this job. They did not want to be. So it's easy to bribe such a police. They are not a quality police. Even that training does not train them psychologically. So to say, hey, here you are in. You're not in and out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the police force. You know, so that's why we see our police. They don't want to fight crime because they are scared. They don't want to lose their life. All they want is that salary to come in, that 15,000, that 21,000, that's it. They just want to feed their family. They are not police at heart. You see? So, let's speak about the MK again in closing. Zwelakhe Mthethwa, bafethu, the quality of MK. the quality of MK party. Zwelakhe, guys, let's listen to this guy.
Greetings, House Chair, honorable ministers and deputy ministers, honorable members, and our fellow officials. May I read the following laws that governed us since then. The Free State Ordinance 5 of 1876, dealing with the rights of colored, precluded them in owning property unless one parent of the person was white. The next one, Franchise and the Ballot Act of 1892, Squatters Act of 1895 in the then Orange Free State, Glen Grey Act of 1894, the Native Reserve Location Act of 1902, the Crown Lands Disposal Ordinance of 1903, the Native Land Act 27 of 1913, which solidified African lands dispossession that dated back to 1800. From 1994 to 2024, the Africans still remain dispossessed of their land. I just wanted to read that part so that at least I can give my input. My input is that you took our land when we were using our native law, and then you use Roman Dutch law for it to be returned to us, and that is foreign. And Roman Dutch and British law has no jurisdiction in this land. So there is no jurisdiction in this land. So there is what we call a legal paradox, where a law that has no jurisdiction in a foreign land being used by the natives to comply. That is impossible. Okay, let me move on. Eluhatle in the army base as a Northern Cape. Kuno inkosi lapha uholele Nototo, in 1911, their land was taken, and the army is now based there. But not just the army, also the minerals in their land. That's a richer spot in the Northern Cape. It is a bone of contention today, and the matter is not resolved. We are going there to solve that problem. And our land, by the way, I understand, ministers, when you say you don't have money. Money is not with you, the state. The person who's got money is Rupert and Oppenheimer. And there are two guys who are actually monopolizing the South African economy. I can take you back from 1917 when Ernest Oppenheimer established Anglo-America. Harry Oppenheimer after him, and Nicky Oppenheimer after him. 3 generations in over 100 years. The country is held at ransom and nobody's saying anything about it. The country is held at ransom and nobody's saying anything about it. Now you say there is no money in the state. Oppenheimer and Rupert are making more money in this country, and that money doesn't go to the state. And that's the problem. You must go and get that money. Besides, when you took our title deeds and when you took our land, you gave that land to the private sector. So our land is not necessarily with you, the state. It is with the private sector. Now, we lodged claim 194 when the ruling party didn't meet the legal prescription that said from the 31st December 1993 to 1998, 31st December, lodge claims so that your land can be returned. Ruling party didn't subscribe and didn't comply. But thank God the kings complied with that law and they claimed their land. Derek Hanekom, the first minister after 1999, he announced these title deeds on newspapers. You instituted a commission of who are the real kings, and the outcome said, we are the kings. After that, we never heard about that report. Ask Judge Nhlapo, where is he now? And that report.
Honourable Member, unfortunately, your time has expired.
Therefore, I'm
Your
landing.
time has expired. Honourable Member.
So we are saying we are not supporting this because it is not in line with the things I've just mentioned. Thank you.
Zwelakhe Mthethwa is one of the best emerging politicians right now. Now you can hear the man is very well studied in terms of the law. He knows what he's talking about. He's not taking chances. Everything he says, this guy goes viral. Everything he says. You listen to that guy, you're going to learn something. Stating the laws that are shocking in our country. Like, people don't know our laws. We don't know. We think that only people who study law must know laws. But as a citizen of a country, you must know what are the laws of obtaining land. You must know, you must bother yourself by reading and making sure that you are informed as a citizen in a country. And I don't know why is it that our politicians think that with this current law, that our land was taken with a different law and that a new law was introduced. Because our land was taken through a barrel of a gun. Our land, through murder, through blood, our land was taken. Why do we think that the courts will give our land back? When the courts are captured, when the state is captured, yeah? You remember the state capture of Jacob Zuma. Don't you see state capture now? Your IEC is captured. Yeah? So how are you going to win if your IEC is captured? Your IEC listens to the market. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be brave in saying these things, that our land, we're actually never going to get it through the courts. Unless the constitution changes and we have an African constitution. That's the only way. But with this current constitution, no way. No way. So I really like Zwelakhe. I wish him the best. May he be protected as being part of the kingdoms also of our country. He knows how the tribal people are working, the traditional people rather are working. So we hope to see more of him. Now you guys go in the comment section and tell me which political party has got the best convincing, powerful debaters in parliament. You guys tell me, is it the ANC, is it the DA, is it the PA? Who do you think is the best when it comes to quality of parliamentarians. They can have one parliamentarian like Vuyo Zungula, but when he speaks, it's power. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Please continue to support our sister channel, African Mojolo with your boy King, where we discuss the family structure of African people. It needs to be strong again. Our marriages, our relationships are broken because we don't learn from each other's problems, and we don't discuss the problems before they happen so that other people can learn from one another. So please go support African Mojolo with your boy King. Subscribe to the channel. We are only a few subscriptions left to 1,000, and then the channel is going to blossom. We're just waiting for you to subscribe there. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace and Pan-Africanism. I salute you.